Time now for the nation's sharpest opinion tonight. And tonight I want to tell you why we cannot trust Donald Trump. I've been watching his statements, and my criticism when he announced his ceasefire has gone viral in parts of the United States, and sections which are anti-Trump are using it for their own reasons. But the fact is, I have been following Trump for a long time, what his rights, his statements, even before he became a full-time politician. I can tell you the man has an attention deficit disorder, which is extremely serious. Plus, besides that, he is almost semi-permanently in a state of falsehood. I genuinely think so. He believes in overstatement and hype, and he does not care about the facts. At this point of time, he has a single-minded pursuit to rescue the suffering and disastrous situation of the American economy, which is why he'll compromise with anything and anyone. But I want to start by putting out the soundbite that he made right now. He's just made a U-turn. He keeps saying, oh, you know, I would have a lot of, I sorted the situation between India and Pakistan. But that is not the fact. He's also said right now, he said that I did not actually do it. I mean, I didn't do it. First he said I have nothing to do with it, 10 days back. Then he says 4 days back, I did it. Then he says everywhere, I did it, I did it, I did it. I closed it, I'm great. And now he says, I didn't really do it, but I take some credit for helping in it. There is no consistency between any of his statements, viewers. And he needs to be clear. He needs to have a single line. How can you be President of the United States of America and keep changing your position? And therefore, it's terrible that there are political parties in India, like the Congress party, which I frankly think is a pro-Pakistan, pro-Turkey party, which is trying to use his comments to put pressure on our government. That's terrible. Secondly, viewers, now he's taken a clear position against India. He wants to have a trade deal with India, and then he makes public statements that I called Tim Cook of Apple, and I told him, do not build any factories in India. How can you have a one-way relationship with a country whose leader is saying that he's told Apple, he's put a gun to Apple's head, saying don't build in India. And he said that as a result of their discussions, Apple will be upping their production in the United States. So he hasn't even been able to put pressure on Apple. This is also the reality. He talks too much. It's a lot of bluster. As of now, Trump is a failing politician. He has failed to put pressure on Putin, so he's getting frustrated. He cannot even put enough influence on Zelensky. And he cannot even put enough influence on Tim Cook of Apple. That's how weak he is. Somewhere, in reality, you can go and say, I don't want to see you building in India, but Donald Trump, Tim Cook and Apple are going to build in India, come what may. That's how weak you effectively are. Let's listen to what he had claimed.
We have Apple, as you know, it's coming in. And I had a little problem with Tim Cook yesterday. I said to him, Tim, you're my friend. I treated you very good. You're coming in with $500 billion, but now I hear you're building all over India. I don't want you building in India. You can build in India if you want to take care of India, because India is the highest, one of the highest tariff nations in the world. It's very hard to sell into India. And they've offered us a deal where basically they're willing to literally charge us no tariff. So we go.
First of all, that claim that he's saying that India is not going to charge any tariff. I'm asking you, viewers, and if someone can put this sense into Donald Trump's head, this is not how presidents are supposed to behave. You are supposed to put on record what is verifiable and authenticated. You cannot be going and making these claims and then making a fool of yourself the next day when you turn your own claim around. First you said, I carried out the ceasefire. I did it. I said, and these are his words, come on guys, let's do some trading. Let's not trade nuclear missiles. And let's do it. And because I'm Donald Trump, everybody said, yes, we'll do it. I mean, how non-serious can a president get? I mean, this is ridiculous, the way he's behaved. And now he said, I did not say I did it, but I helped it. This is what he said now. The operational word, take 2 bites here, producers, take 2 sound bites. First, run the sound bite where he said, I did it. and then run the soundbite of May 15th. I don't want to say I did it. right? The first one was a tweet where he said, I did it. No, he's also said on several other occasions, including during his visit to Saudi Arabia. You may not have the soundbite right now, but he said, I did it. And now he says this.
Say I did, but I sure as hell helped settle the problem between Pakistan and India.
Audio down. Now he says, I did not say I did it, but I sure as hell helped. Sure as hell helped. Now that's a white lie. How can you do this? What is the American media doing? Why doesn't the American media ask Donald Trump? You're embarrassing us. One day you said, I did it. Next day you're saying, I did not say I did it. I don't know if anyone in the White House can trust Donald Trump at all. He keeps changing his opinion. Maybe that's why he's having problems with Elon Musk. Now the fact is, what is Donald Trump's problem with India? You see, viewers, he's a struggling economy, very majorly in debt. It's not a strong economy. It may be a large economy, but there's a huge difference between a strong economy and a large failing economy. And according to the IMF's World Economic Outlook 2025, we're surpassing Japan. We've become the fourth largest economy, right? And we have a nominal GDP of 4.187 trillion. We are going to expand by 6 to 7%. And everybody knows where that compares with the United States. Ladies and gentlemen, the United States is in no position to even look at consistent growth in the future. So he's flailing his hands about. And in the process of flailing his hands about, he has gone and done a deal with a terrorist who is now the leader of Syria. I would like to run the visuals of him meeting Syria's so-called interim president. His name is Ahmed al-Shara. Now this man is a terrorist, and Donald Trump was sitting sheepishly with the terrorist yesterday. And he said sheepishly with the terrorist, and he said, I'm doing this all for Saudi Arabia. So tomorrow if Saudi Arabia tells him to sit with any terrorist group, Donald Trump will happily sit with the terrorist group. And when he was asked, what did you think of this terrorist who you met? I hope I have that soundbite. He was asked, what do you think about the terrorist who you met? He said, he's a young, attractive, tough guy. He said he's a young, attractive, tough guy. So tomorrow, if Osama bin Laden was around and Donald Trump were to sit with Osama bin Laden, he would even sit with Osama bin Laden. And therefore, people in America need to be very careful about this person. He said he finds this ex-terrorist a young, attractive guy. What do you find attractive about him? You put $1 million bounties on his head till recently. And now you're sitting around with him and you're saying you're doing the Saudis a favor by doing a deal with a person who was the head of a terrorist group called the Hayat Tahrir al-Sham, HTS. Viewers, this is a very strange individual. I personally think that his MAGA policy is all conceited. Let's see how much he achieves on that. Make America great again. But I'm saying this tonight that if we are truly a country which puts national interest first, we must always remember America has never been a consistent friend of India. And Donald Trump needs to do a lot more to earn our trust. Recently, there was an event at Stanford University by the students of the Indian Association there, and I spoke to them. I will put out, and this happened all before we struck Pakistan. I'll put out a video of that because you'll know I'm consistent in my position. And I said at that event at Stanford, I said that it cannot be a one-way relationship with the United States of America. It will take us a lot of time to remember or to forget that Seattle and CENTO of the 1950s gave Pakistan the impetus to be aggressive to India. They are the ones who did business with Osama bin Laden and killed Osama bin Laden. Obama's AFPAC policy was directly aimed at squeezing India, right? And in 1971, Nixon sent the 7th Fleet to the Bay of Bengal. And therefore, we need to be very careful, very, very, very careful when it comes to Donald Trump. A leader without an ideology, who is the President of the United States, is a danger to the world. I was personally shocked when Donald Trump praised the Syrian president, who was declared as terrorist, and the USA had a $10 million bounty on his head. And he says he's a young, attractive, tough guy, a fighter with a very strong past. Can you hear this? This is Donald Trump's description of a terrorist. Americans, wake up. People in India, wake up. This is Trump's description of a terrorist. Let's hear this.
Right. I think very good. Young, attractive guy, tough guy. Right. I think very good. Young, attractive guy, tough guy.
Young, attractive guy, tough guy. Now, all of this, some point of time, is going to come back to bite Trump. Right now, he's been elected. He is still in his first year. He's still in his honeymoon period. But Donald Trump must know this. You need to be consistent with people if you want their friendship. And we must not sign a trade deal with the United States that compromises any of our interests. We must be tough with them. We must start calling out Trump. It cannot be source-based information. The government must go on record and contradict what Trump is saying, and I'm glad they've begun doing so. But we need to understand that when Donald Trump is sitting there between MBS and a terrorist watching on, that this leader cannot be trusted to look at our interests. So for all those people who think that a long-term strategic relationship with America has already understood, I want you to know this. We are competitors to America and competitors to China. When it comes to China +1, when we surpass Japan's growth, right? USA is an aging population like Japan. We are a young, vibrant country. We are getting into a competitive phase with the rest of the world. America sees us as an economic threat. A lot of things they are doing right now may seem impetuous, but the fact is, long-term, the American establishment sees us as an economic threat as much as the Chinese do. We have no friends but ourselves. That's why I believe in nation first. That's why I've launched the Nationalist Collective, ladies and gentlemen. We can't trust anyone. We can do business with everyone as long as they are not ideologically inconsistent with us, as long as they don't compromise us ethically. But we cannot trust anyone, no one, but we are on our side.